Happy Tuesday 2027, same place, same outfit, same beard, same spot. It's the same day for me. This is crazy. I'm filming a video for the future. Anyway, let's get started with today's classwork, shall we? Just kidding, Mr. Saturno. No one wants to do that. Tuesday, May 12th, lesson 7.2. Based on the assignment from yesterday, explain what the Electoral College is. Your answer should sound something like this. The Electoral College is an indirect way to elect the president of, Mr. Townsend, go back and capitalize that. President of the United States. That's one way, guys. That's a very fancy way of saying it, an indirect way to elect the president of the United States. You could have said the Electoral College is the way that we pick the president of the United States, or is the way that the founders created to pick the president of the United States. Any of those answers would have worked. Based on yesterday's assignment, which state has the most Electoral College votes? The state with the most Electoral College votes is California. If you remember correctly, based on yesterday's assignment, it is California based on the population of the state. California is a large state that has a lot of people living in it. So based on the population, they have the most. Texas also has a lot of Electoral College votes. New York has a lot. Florida has a lot. Illinois has a lot. So there are a lot of states that do have a lot of votes, but California is the one with the most amount of votes because it has a large population. And you should have clicked next to move on to the next page. Haha, the video is right here. You don't know which KC student's name I'm going to say yet. You have to wait to see whose name I'm going to drop. We're going to move on though, and you got to listen carefully. Pros for the Electoral College. Write a gist for the section below. A gist is a one-sentence summary of the text. So these are pros or positive things for the Electoral College. 1, it protects minority interests. The Electoral College preserves the voice of states with lower populations and more rural or country areas. Occupy theory noted, especially in contemporary times, urban areas or cities tend to be more populated, but the Electoral College saves the interests of farmers and those found in less bustling locations. What they're saying is a lot of people live in the city of Chicago. So the city of Chicago has millions of people who live in it. But the middle of Kansas, the middle of Oklahoma, the middle of Arkansas, they're not going to have a lot of people living out there. So it's trying to balance the idea that some states have big cities with lots of people and some states don't. So that's what they're trying to balance. It facilitates a two-party system. You read about this last week. Some political activists may not be a fan of the two-party system, but the Republican versus Democrat structure creates more stability, according to the Asia Pacific Economic Blog. The small number of political parties allows for generalized platforms instead of parties focused on specific issues. So their platforms are able to be broader instead of very specific. It directs more power to the states. States are given the power to select the delegates to the Electoral College, allowing them to participate in the selection of a president. It maintains the representative form of government according to the US Election Atlas. So for example, in November, let's say the state of Illinois, most people in the state of Illinois pick Joe Biden to be president. Then Illinois sends all of our electors, we send them and we tell them, you need to go and you need to fight for Joe Biden, you need to vote for Joe Biden. So we don't necessarily pick them, we pick who we want to win, and then those electors go and they try to get that person to win by voting for that person or going to that person. That's basically how it works. Not every single vote is going to matter. Write a gist for this section here. Remember, I told you it's a one-sentence summary. So these three things are saying that the Electoral College what? Question number 1, according to the first pro, what type of states does the Electoral College protect? I kind of talked about that a little bit too, Jeffrey. Which states the Electoral College protected and which one they didn't? I just said a name. Go type it up there. Go type it. Second question. According to the second pro, what is a benefit of the two-party system? according to the second pro, what is a benefit of the two-party system? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write words here. You should not do this, but it says I need to type things in order to move on to the next page. What is a second benefit of the two-party system? So we talked a lot about pros and cons of the two-party system last week. In number 2 right here, what is a good thing about the two-party system? Then we move on. I'm going to fix this, guys. It shouldn't be 2 separate sections. It should just be 1 section. So I'm going to fix it so you won't have to click next after that. It's just going to be 1 section. But this is document B, the Electoral College. George C. Edwards, Why the Electoral College is Bad for America, New Haven, Connecticut, Yale University Press. The Electoral College violates political equality. It is not a neutral counting device. It favors some citizens over others, depending solely upon the state in which voters cast their votes for president. This is Comparison of Population and Electoral College Votes from 2010. It says Alaska, population, Electoral College votes. Delaware, District of Columbia, Hawaii, Idaho, Maine, Montana, North Dakota, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Vermont, and Wyoming. These are 12 states plus the District of Columbia. Because remember, Washington, D.C. is not a state. So those are the 12 states. This is their total population. This is the total number of Electoral College votes they have. So their population, those 12 states combined, plus Washington, D.C., have a population of 12,500,000. This is Illinois. Their population is 12,830,632. 12,830,632. They have 20 Electoral College votes. What do you notice about the total population of the 12 states plus Washington, D.C. versus the total population of Illinois? I didn't say which one was higher, which one was lower. Look at those numbers one more time. What do you notice about these 12 states populations plus D.C. and then Illinois' population? What do you notice about that? Question number 2, what do you notice about the total number of Electoral College votes between these 12 states plus D.C. and Illinois? So this is the Electoral College votes number right here. What do you notice about the Electoral College votes between those two? Last question. George Edwards, the guy who created this document, this source, says that the Electoral College favors some states over others. How does this chart prove that point? How does this chart prove that the Electoral College favors some states over others? Your sentence starter should say, this chart proves his point because, and explain that to me. When you are done, guys, finish all those answers and make sure you hit the submit button down below. I hope that you enjoyed learning about this. This is something that I find super interesting and is really important if you want to understand how we get into certain situations politically and how certain leaders tend to be in power when others aren't. So I hope that you're finding this interesting. We're going to pick up again tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. Please stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow.